Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, and a Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you for 2023, and I hope everyone's enjoying the season. Look, this is a quick message to remind everybody that you have no limits. When you get here, you slow down out of thinking your life story, what you think your limits are, what you know. The type of knowing that limits possibility, that's when everything opens up for you. The universe is far bigger than we allow for. And you have the ability to do intuitive stuff more so than all the experts that you see out there. Now, this is not a dig at them, but I'm going to pick one who's wonderful. He has 600,000 people on a waiting list, which if you did 2,000 sessions a year, I think I calculated that out as 300 years worth of business. He has beautiful books, beautiful events, and so I'm going to plug him, and I'm going to figure out how that Amazon affiliate program works. He's on my suggested reading page on my website, michaelandreford.com. But he has to doodle while he connects to your loved ones and passes messages and advice from not just them, but from above. You can do that as well. You don't have to feel Uncle Joe's heart palpitations. In fact, if Tyler wished, he could tone that down a little so he doesn't feel as much. He could do more in other areas. I want to be very respectful. He's amazing. He's doing what he's doing. He's following his unique life path. He gets an A+. He cares so much about others. But what I'm saying is that there's unlimited room for growth and expansion for each and every one of us on the planet, which just means more laughter, more love, more compassion, more being in the moment, more appreciating and allowing, more angels, more loved ones, and more just being here. And every one of us has a unique life path. I can remember in the last couple of years, someone told me they didn't know what love was. Love is in you and around you. It's the fabric of the universe. You only have to slow down long enough to open your eyes and see love. That's quoting the Big Mary. And also to feel it. Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. Piglet asked Winnie the Pooh, "How do you spell love?" And Winnie the Pooh replied, "You don't spell it, you feel it." So you have more ability than what we currently see out there today. And I'm talking no limits. I'm talking miracles. Siddhis, if you want to use Siddhi, the Indian term. You can meet not just angels, but religious figures, non-religious figures. It's all a leap of faith, religious faith, non-religious faith. It's called letting go of this to be here. So whether it's Krishna, Ganesh, Lakshmi, Meher Baba, Vishnu, Rama, Gandhi, Sai Baba, the one from 100 years ago, Sri Kaleshwar, and so on, or it's Native American chiefs, Geronimo, Dull Knife, Red Shirt, Crazy Horse, White Buffalo, Calf Woman, there's a bunch there. But maybe you're a Stoic. It could be Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Plato. This goes on and on. If you're a scientist, you can talk to Einstein. So people also are full on seeing, hearing, chatting with their loved ones. You got to do angels first. I've had some guests this year on the show. It's Angels, Positivity, and Love. Please be sure to check that out on the YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, comment while you're there. Your support means everything for the growth of this channel, but I've got really top-notch names coming in. They usually get to experience angels beforehand, and it's a private experience to them. The show is not about trying to prove anything, but they do take steps on air, at least baby steps, and it's at least listening or putting your hand out. There are photos of angels. And so people put their hand out and through two screens, feel the vibe. I'll blow sage smoke in just a little bit. I've done this on 45 shows or something in the last 18 months. And no matter where you are as a show host, if I'm the guest around the world, they get to smell sage or more. And that's really the message here. It isn't necessarily about smelling the sage, which you're letting the universe, angels bring it to you through two screens, wherever you are in the world, Germany, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, France, England. I mean, that's where we've done it. And of course in the US. But it's about allowing for more in each moment and letting angels and the rest of your guides, your cheerleading squad up here if you wish, although they reside in you. It's kind of a multi-dimensional thing. Letting them help where you're giving permission. You have free will. And everything is, you're great how you are right now. I know that can be a tough message if there's a financial situation, health, job, the usual drama-rama if you're living a human life. But all you have to do is shift your perspective a little bit. Grab Byron Katie for that. She'll help you identify a thought that so-and-so is a complete jerk. She'll help you pry loose the notion that you're attached to. That's actually, when you judge others, as Mother Teresa says, you have no time to love them. And as Wayne Dyer says, when you judge others, you actually do yourself in, and you don't realize it. As an energy transaction, you're doing no good. This is really about wasting energy, which is most of what goes on up here, and then being love. Love is tough. If you go on social media, you're not going to see the word love very much, especially in the news. But the more you realize that love is just present, it's a constant. You can check out from love for 2 decades, for the rest of this lifetime and half of the next. It's at your own pace that you have to do your own learning. No one else can do your learning for you. And so that's what this is really about. It's about being more in the stillness of the present moment, which allows for you to remember what you've already got here. So I wanted to get back to the concept of intuitives, mediums, healers. You have all those skills. Now, not every single person's going to do every single thing. Some of us will never use our hands to touch others and heal them. But I wanted to mention just random stuff that you can do with angels. I mean, they can light your finger up like out of that E.T. movie in the 80s or late 70s. You can at least see light off your fingers. You can see auras. In India, they do it this way. In Celestine Prophecy, they do it that way. You can see light in between, but you can see auras. You can put your hands out and see light flowing between two people, a ball of light in between your own hands. Your pooch, not just seeing auras. I've got a dog over here. Not just seeing auras on your dog, but you can hear your dog. They're like third graders. Everything speaks. Everything has a language. You only have to allow for this and slow down enough out of sort of the Western thing or the mind thing to get to your heart to actually do the listening that you already are doing all the time. You just give yourself no credit for it. It's your internal guidance system, a lot of people call it. It's how you navigate a store or how you navigate a holiday party and who you talk to, who you don't. You're using it as an athlete all the time, an artist, a musician. You're actually really good at it. Just doing an act of yoga or reading, you're in the zone, and that zone is here. Now, some of your thinking when it drops to here is when you're creative, or when you get the rest of your book finished, or when you brainstorm on something and get really great ideas. By the way, where are those coming from? You've got a higher self, a soul. I help people look out a window into the sky. They can see aurora borealis kind of lights. Those colors are you, your higher self. You get to full on see angels standing there. So the photos are really nice. They'll move, change color. I've got fairies, Play-Doh. My guardian angel's the orange kind of looking one, Joy, who's pink. She's the emotion, Joy, the ambassador communicator. Will help you hit a great stroke on a tennis court, get an answer. All languages are spoken, all dialects. I speak some French and English. And that's it. So this isn't about me telling anybody anything. I don't want to ever interfere. You have to ask for it. And that alone can take decades for most of us. In fact, it's so much easier to ask somebody else to do your learning, your listening, your advising for you. That's why this is such a popular business for the last 100 years. As we go to a healer, an advisor, a tarot person, they're all fantastic. Keep using them. But what I'm trying to say is, there's more consciousness, awareness to be had for mankind. If we wanted to get it done as a species, if we were really savvy, if we were really smart, intelligent, it's not that we're not, but we don't tend to pay attention. That's why there's so much war. That's why the pollution thing. For climate change, don't worry about it. It's not up to humans to fix anything. That comes straight from an angel. Your role here is to learn to live more, love more, all those Beatles songs. Love is all there is. And that's really it. Although you have a unique life path, you can walk a smoother path anytime you simply want to pay attention. My job is to help people do a little less thinking. Angels will say 7% less thinking a week is literally the Olympic gold medal. This isn't going cold turkey on thinking. Judging, fear, stress, worry, reacting. Knowing, most of our knowing is the type that precludes possibility. And then there's universal knowing. This isn't about right or wrong, but this is about proper understanding. Angels will tell you that right or wrong isn't quite what you think it is. It's just an excuse to judge others and situations that could actually change much quicker if you would go with the flow. Archangel Uriel once said, if more people did more listening, there'd be less conflict in any given situation. I love that quote. I'm going to blow a little bit of sage, and I'm going to keep talking about this just a little bit more. You have everything within. You just have to give yourself permission to let go. You don't have to take a single other step except before bed, on a walk, whenever you can remember to remember, if you remember. Ask your cheerleading squad, angels, loving guides, your relatives. Fairies exist. A jinn, whose East Asian mysticism exists. There's some other categories too. They're all unconditional love. You're fully protected if you'll just trust in that. Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Sai Baba, Thich Nhat Hanh. You can meet and walk with him. You can full on walk with these figures too. You have to be a really, really relaxed person. I had somebody who was super India trained, great at meditating, go the whole way on that one. It's really, this boils down to what will you allow for? And that's kind of the rub here. What will you allow for? We know what we know. So if you're a Consciousness Institute researcher, you got to do it the scientific way, but that's actually the slow way. You're not going to want to talk to the consciousness experts. You can meet Carl Jung, you can chat with him, Seneca, Plato, Einstein, many others. If you would just listen more and pay attention more, if you're a scientist, you could bust out on all the discoveries. Obviously, personally, you're going to have to be willing to grow a little. Most of us, once we get successful with a career, we get to be an adult, we start adulting, and that's pretty limiting. We don't realize it usually too. It takes a lot of stuff in life to kind of happen, and then we're like, why is it happening to me? And then you get some growth. This is some regular sage. It's on my website. I'm not sponsored or affiliated in any way, although I'll try the affiliate program with the sage on Amazon. This is a little bit of sage. I'm in San Antonio, Texas. It's obviously holiday, Christmas time, with the Christmas tree behind me. Catch sage wherever you are. It doesn't matter if you're watching this in 2026 and it's 100 degrees out. You're in Morocco, you're in Monte Carlo. Just allow for a little bit of sage. I only have one rule or bit of structure. Ask angels to make it nice. Ask them to get you out of your head, into your heart, and bring the sage to you. And then catch a little sage. Even if you have a stuffed up nose or your nose doesn't work, those people still catch energetically. Sometimes you taste it on your mouth. Others catch the scent of sage anyhow through their nose that doesn't work or doesn't work well. And back to the point of what will you allow for? Why not allow for more than that? Why go linear? Why just smell sage, kind of plant medicine here? Ask for flowers. Let angels bring you a couple flower types. Whatever your favorite flowers are. Lorna Byrne, the Irish angel mystic in Ireland, said on air, she didn't smell sage, but she smelled daisies and roses. How beautiful. And Jennifer McLean, the healer for 35 years, who was on an autumn of 2023 show, caught sage in 3 types of flowers in Laguna Niguel, California. So this is up to you. What will you allow for? Most of us are shut tight like an oyster, even if we're totally successful with friends, family, career. The bottom line is we just know what we know. It's so much more safe and secure. Like out of that Night and Day Tom Cruise movie, Safe and Secure. That's what the brain, ego, your psyche is all about. No matter how much success or how much failure or how much in between you're experiencing, it wants to keep you away from your heart, from the possibility of expanding your awareness, your consciousness. All the action in life actually is happening here. A breath, a smile, a shoulder waggle in the middle of a public store, doing a chubby checker or an Elvis, swinging your hips. Anything works to bust you out of your stuckness, your suchness. You have unlimited room for more love, laughter, life, joy, the pulse of the universe. Universal love flowing through you. Anytime you'll simply allow for it. Put a hand out now, feel an angel. I'll put up Joy's photo. Same thing. And what I wanted to get to again with Tyler Henry is make sure you check out his books, watch his TV shows. They're absolutely fantastic. I think it's Blue 44 is the production company. They're wonderful. Put your hand out and feel Joy's vibe through 2 screens. If you're resisting, you might get sparkle on your toes. We do this in almost every show on Angels, Positivity, and Love at youtube.com/@Michael André Ford. It's usually later in the show. We have wonderful experts, amazing people from all over the world sharing what they've learned, their experience. We have Dr. Raymond Moody coming up at the end of 2023 as episode 50, capping out the year. He coined the term near-death experience. He's on with Paul Perry. They do an amazing job. They take steps. I mean, he started off as just a regular doctor. Don't mean to put it that way, but a regular physician who then was very skeptical about the afterlife or maybe dismissed it, but has come full circle, has put out like 13 plus books. We've got people who have experienced near-death experiences. Dr. Evan Alexander's been on twice or 3 times actually, plus a panel or 2. We've had Ingrid Hankala, NASA oceanographer, Dr. Ingrid Hankala, PhD. 3 near-death experiences. Michelle Claire's been on twice. Second time will be in January of 2024. She's had 3 near-death experiences. Trisha Barker will be in the spring of 2024. Wonderful. Very excited. So we've had a bunch of people who've had near-death experiences. Sometimes you have a near-death experience, but you don't quite chalk it off that way, or you don't necessarily participate in the IANDS group that's got chapters all over the place. It's wonderful. You can, let's say you had a near-death experience and part of it was wonderful. Obviously, if you're near-death dying, part of it is tough. You can ask angels to bring you the happy part and have that experience eyes closed or even eyes open. So if you just allow for the possibility for angels, that's when the fun starts. Allow for angels, trust that they exist, and more will happen. Your answers will come. Maybe you have to do it dream time because you're not really willing to let go and just listen. It's the scariest thing in the world. Trust me, I was there 12, 11 years ago. It's hard to pay attention. It's so easy to be like squirrel or to have an iPhone and to be just distracted. That's what we try to do. The psyche has a clipboard. Even if you agreed with one thing that I said today, ego has a clipboard and is like, he's absolutely right. We'll start 2 Tuesdays from now. And those 2 Tuesdays never arrive. Your heart is always in the giant stillness of love. It's always connected to everything. You just have to put a hand on your heart, take a deep breath, ask angels to come in, help you out of your head, into your heart, say thank you. My favorite line and only structure is this: angels, get me out of my head, into my heart, help me let go, relax. If you're trying to get something done, smell the sage, help me smell the sage. Amen, rock and roll, thank you. Om Sai Ram. Wherever you're from, you've just got to own and set your intent and own it. For some of us, that takes some practice to trust that we can set our intent. This is about kind of repetition, like it would be for anything else. Art, music, sport, learning to sit down and read again in a particularly sunny spot that you like, curl up with a book. I know with all the electronics today and all the hubbub going on, it's easy to get distracted. But this is about pumping the brakes, slowing down, and allowing different flows of energy that are positive, that are healthy for you to come back in. And you had it as a kid. Most of us had it as a kid for a good portion of childhood. You were a Jedi running around, full happiness, full in the moment. You were just like, what's next? That's what this is about. You can discover your unique life path. Trust me, you have one. Angels are happy to help you discover that, enhance it. They can alter your path, and to help you with any action steps you need. Let's get really complex here or focused or detailed. If you're a business person, they're my favorite. I actually think they're in the lead as spirituality goes on the planet, or researchers go, because they're just so willing to listen. They know what their business model is. They know what they want. They're pretty gung-ho. They just roll up their sleeves. They're like, okay, got it. Got my answer from angels. What's next? They can't write fast enough. So if you're a salesperson, you can ask who to call. Get full names, get the company names, get the date when you should call, what to say. There's no limits. So why wouldn't you want to meet angels? Why wouldn't you want to ask your questions about career, health, relationships, true love? Obviously, there's some housekeeping we all have to do. We've accumulated, as Buddhists will say, some dust. But you can meet Chogyam Trungpa, again, Sai Baba, Thich Nhat Hanh, Kuan Yin. Just an absolutely wonderful group. There's a lot of little mini miracles that happen. You could see a ball of light behind me. I was just taping a panel a month ago, and seconds before we started, one of the panelists saw a ball of light behind me in my office. You can see an angel full on standing behind me or behind the bar if you wish. It's up to you again, what will you allow for? It's a lot of fun, a lot of humor. There are 3 Native American chiefs who are wonderful. I've had 2 parents pass over, and that was part of my path to help me do what I do today. Again, if humans wanted to pay attention and really wanted to do the most openness, or to open openness, or to grow as a group collectively, which I'm not saying we should, I'm just saying it'd be a lighter, happier, quicker experience, we could do it in 3 hours. But that would be a lot of iPads, a lot of satellites, a lot of photos and stuff like that, a lot of setting our intent. It's probably asking a little bit much with how everybody's rolling today. I do believe there's more consciousness coming in. I think there's more availability for angels. This is why you can just see them outright. Like, my photos are fantastic. Check those out on the website. I think they're $3 each. Wix didn't give me a choice on independent pricing. Put one on your iPhone and carry it around. The whole point of this is you can look at the photo, ask a question, get an answer, get a hug, and then you can look out your window and see full on, because you'll be more comfortable after you've taken some baby steps. Those photos, which we all know can't move, can change color, can pulse, can move. So there truly are no limits. Now, I use some historical photos for Dullknife, Native American chief who's wisdom with some humor, like a mountain range. Red Shirt, who's like the gentlest mom in the world. Lakota Sioux chief. Compassion, 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 wearing U.S. presidential medal. And here's a young photo of Geronimo. He's action, dry wit humor, lightning bolt. Really steals the show. If there's 175 figures, 100 plus angels, is much more than that when you start counting people's guardian angels and their own angel team. So, by the way, you can meet your guardian angel, you can see your guardian angel, you can catch up. They've been with you every second of your life. You're not getting judged. You have privacy. That's the best way I can describe it. Let me back up and just say what I do. I've got a list. For 8 years, I gave this service away for free. But I would put in the question when people were talking to angels, what does Mike do for people? So angels, Mary, the chiefs could answer that, so people could relate better to what was being offered. And one of the answers was that I transdimensionally channel so that people can have a multidimensional experience. With the whole UFO, UAP thing going on, I think that's a little more relevant as an answer today. And let's talk about that crowd. They're absolutely looking for disclosures, their life beyond what we know around us. I think the answer is unequivocally yes. A lot of focus goes towards organisms, beings that are mortal, and that might not be total unconditional love. They might have our best interests, some of them. There are others that if you go out for a bite to eat, you might not be coming back. But there's also light beings. They're whales if angels are dolphins. You can meet and see light beings, and that's really big. So I guess I would just sum it up this way. There's angels, there's light beings, there's guides, loving guides, religious, non-religious, St. Francis, Mother Teresa, again, listed on the website, michaelandreford.com. They're all available to you. You just have to be willing to slow down and put yourself kind of out there, which is really just here. It's the scariest place in the world. If you check out the movie Peaceful Warrior, Dan Millman, Nick Nolte's in it, Scott Meklowitz, Amy Smart. The gas station attendant, who's kind of a Mr. Miyagi figure, will tell you it's the last place people really want to go is here. There you find your truths, you find out who you are. You kind of have to look in the mirror. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and told yourself 20 times, I love you? You're a big lug, you're a handsome lug, I love you, you're amazing. And if you did that 1,000 times, you would own it, guaranteed. It only takes like 100, 500, 1,000 times repeating something before you're the top expert in the world in that activity. Maybe 10,000 times they say, or 1,000 hours, or 10,000 hours, whatever the expression is. Get in front of a mirror, tell yourself that you love yourself, compliment yourself. Check out the movie Angela, Angel-A. These are all on my suggested reading page. There's a moment later in the movie where the guardian angel has her arm around her ward, and they're looking in a mirror in northern Paris, Montmartre, the church. They're in the bathroom looking in the mirror, and she says, I love you to him, because no one's ever told him he's lived a hard life, that he's loved. And then she says to him, look in the mirror and tell yourself that you love yourself. And she disappears. It's such a gorgeous clip. I'll try to put that up on my fun video playlist on my YouTube channel. So look, this is a lot to take in, a lot to grasp. Luckily, none of this is about thinking, and thinking isn't going away. So you can still let your ego, your psyche, your rejecting others, your fear, which is what this is really about, letting go of your fear, or at least doing a little less of it. Let those times when thoughts flood in, you've doubted something that was said here, let it serve as a reminder. For what? That's entirely up to you. You've got to run your own energy flows. There's an old Zen saying. The student comes running up to the master and says, "What about it when I try to be Buddha?" And the master, the teacher, says back to the student, "What a tremendous waste of energy." And the student says, "Well, what about it when I don't waste energy?" The teacher says, "In that case, then you are Buddha." And I think that's really the thing, is we don't realize how much wasting of energy. When we know what we know, precluding true universal love, precluding possibility. Remember, love is in you and around you, maxed out. Think of your best concert you ever went to. 1978, 1995, 2 months ago, and you were on cloud 9. That emotion, that state of being has never left you. You just aren't looking at it. You're not paying attention. It's there. You can find your ecstasy, your joy, your amazingness, your connection to all, your dog. What a great gateway is just petting your dog. I've got a second dog on the couch over there. That's completely available. Also, your own skills as a healer. Your heart's huge. It's already connected to everything. You can see light everywhere, which is just consciousness. You can meet Joseph Campbell. In the interview with Bill Moyers, he talks about how energy is consciousness, or consciousness is energy, and it is love. I mean, everything is conscious. Everything is love. You, again, just have to slow down, whether you want to call it Western societal thinking, your thinking. There's trillions of thought forms, brick walls. Each thought is a brick. And ego, even if you cleared out right now, you saw Audrey Hepburn standing right here behind me. You had an angel in your hand or a fairy. You chatted with the fairy. You walked with your Uncle Joe for half an hour today. He's passed over for 30 years. You're comfortable with it. You have 2 angels and Uncle Joe walking with you. Tomorrow, you'll go back to thinking. And thinking just is like a little brick, Acme brick factory. It builds bricks, it builds walls, it wants to cut you off from the flow of life. Scrooge, Christmas Carol, Scrooge was dental floss for that type of living, flowing, being harmony with all, bah humbug. But he changed in like 3 minutes flat. If you actually go by his dream time experience, it happened like that. And so anything is possible, no matter what you think is going on in the story of your life. It can change. And what will you allow for? So I've got a little book called Listening to Angels. It's $7.99 at Amazon. It's been a bestseller twice, a number 2 bestseller twice in the angel category. Check that out. It's endorsed by Anita Morjani, who's a three times New York Times bestseller. Check out her upcoming documentary. There's a fantastic one being based on her original book that should be out either late 2024 or 2025. I just got to talk to the person who's, I believe, making that. So be sure to check that out when it comes out. You've also got the YouTube channel. Again, please check that out. I have also a store. I have taken my first step. I've got a coffee mug. It's wonderful. You'll see it on the shop store button on the website. Shortly, you should see maybe a different type of store on YouTube with the same coffee mug there. I'm still working out all the kinks. We'll have some t-shirts soon. Wonderful guests coming up. We've booked the show into July already of 2024. I expect that to be booked out to September just as quickly. Thank you again for everything. If you wish, one more time, take a deep breath, ask angels to get you out of your head into your heart, add a thank you, amen, rock and roll, however you roll. If you're religious, non-religious, you're from India, from Bangladesh, from Latin America, from Canada, you've got to own it your way. That's how life rolls, and trust that everything is perfect as it is right now. But no matter how sharp you are in the outer world, scientist, winning awards all the time, but you still haven't cracked the code for whatever topic, you can talk to Einstein, you can talk to angels, you can have your answers. The real question is, how fast can you use one of these? Can you do basic listening? As an adult, most of us can't. It's tough, at least in certain situations. The more of an expert you are perceived as on the global stage or an institute, the less quickly you might actually get stuff done. Here's joy. Put your hand out, feel what you can feel. Ask her a question and listen. It might sound like your voice for just 1 second. High, peppy 28-year-old voice. And the second you really let go, you again hear, hey, relax, breathe. If you're already off to the races, you're already chatting away with her. Go pick up this photo at the website for $3. Check out the book. Check out the shows. I think they're fantastic. Really in-depth. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day in Australia is Australian actor Ian Stenlake coming on. Stingers, Sea Patrol, currently Elvis the Musical in Australia, about to go on a national tour in 2024. He is so wonderful. He shares so much. Right now, the week before Christmas, it's Ariel Ford. Her sister was Debbie Ford, the self-help guru who was on Oprah Super Soul Sunday 3 times. Ariel is a powerhouse. She's represented when she was publicist, marketing type in the 90s. Neil Donald Walsh, Marianne Williamson, Don Miguel Ruiz, Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, literally a dozen other top-notch names. And she herself has put out, I'm going to say, a dozen plus books. The Love Thief is her latest. You should check that out. That's a fictional book. Think Eat, Pray, Love, but India, and even more fun. Have a wonderful life. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful holiday season and a wonderful 2024. Remember, no limits. Simply ask angels to jump in and help you out where you're going to be able to allow for this, appreciate it. It's all about slowing down this much. Angels, the universe will do the rest. It's just like The Alchemist or Esther Hicks, the law of attraction stuff, Abraham, that group of light beings. Universal forces are in place to take care of anything you need, but you have to get into that kind of driver's seat with a little bit of cruise control. Set your intent, let the universe do its job. This is Michael André Ford, San Antonio, your American Angel Intuitive. Thank you very much.